Hey everyone, Matt here from Pyramind, back with yet another breakdown. As always, thank you. Loving the fanship. Thank you for being so kind to me on the internet, because we all know it could go the other way very easily. Thank you. Very appreciated. So, I'm giving back. Someone out there, and by someone I mean hundreds of you, asked for Porter Robinson Shelter. That's what we're going to do today. We're going to take a look at the intro. If we like what we did in the intro, you want to know the rest of the song, comment it up on YouTube, talk to us, I will do the rest of the song. Today, in the intro, there are a few things to look at. One, why is this melody so sticky? Why does it stay with you? Why does it hit you so quickly and stay with you for so long? We'll explain. Two, chords. What is going on in these chords? I can't quite figure it out. It seems like it should be easy, but it doesn't sound easy. Is it complexity? Is it simplicity? We'll dig in. Three, taking a chord, layering it, and then splitting it apart. It wasn't something I had thought was going on when I first listened to it, but when I tried to recreate it here, and I've got kind of a quick and dirty remake of the beginning just to kind of shape up the overall sound of the song, something came out pretty interesting in the analysis of what I thought was going on. And I want to point out what I did here, show you what I did. Maybe it's a technique you can steal. So again, sticky melody, what's going on the chords, layering chords, then splitting them apart. So, number one, the melody. And I've sort of mimicked the melody in this piano, which should be pretty obvious. And I'll lower that down a little bit so it doesn't take over the song. And this is the basic shape up of the intro. Why is the melody so damn sticky? And the answer is twofold. Number one, it is in major. First of all, the whole song is C major, which is a pretty easy key to deal with because it is the all white scale. It's one of the first things you learn when you're playing piano. It's one of the first things you learn when you're doing any kind of music of any kind. And it really is very innocent, youthful, childlike, playful. Part of the reason why the song is so bubbly and uplifty, even though it's kind of mellow in terms of its pace and the timbres, it still has this kind of fun youthfulness about it. And I think some of that comes from the fact that the whole song is in C major. Another reason why is the very first lick. You don't really hear that very often. It's a bit difficult for a vocalist to pull that off, but with the chopped, gated vocal here, not difficult at all. But what we're dealing with is a 6-5-1. That is the 6th scale degree, 5th scale degree, and 1. So we leave basically these notes, which to me always sound like westerns, because I always hear this. It's a little bluesy, kind of a western. And so right out the gate, it's this sort of lighthearted, happy, sort of Americana vocal melodic lick. Now, there is something in the melody that we're going to see in the chords as well, which is make a shape or make a pattern and then vary it. Repeat it, but vary it. Now, I've talked about that before. You've got 6-5-1 and then 6-5-2. And get back up, 3-5-1, 6-5-1. So right in the first opening melody, you hear the same pattern basically 3 times. 1, 2, 3. And then here's the last reason why it's sticky. It's the 1, 2, 3, which is not only just 1, 2, 3, but it's also in triplets. So it's 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1. All right, so we've got triplet rhythm in 3 notes, which happen to also be the 1, 2, 3. Anyone can sing along with a 1, 2, 3. So we've got this little big jumpy thing here. Repeat with the variation. Repeat. And if I solo it, real easy to hear, real easy to play along with. If you want to practice some piano skills, practice some melody writing, play along with this one, okay? That's the melody. The more difficult stuff, the chords. So let me give the chords in 2 ways. I said, well, what's going on with the chords? And then I also said, well, layer them and then break them apart. So before we layer them and break them apart, let me just give you the basic shape of the chord. And the basic shape of the chord is also doing something interesting in terms of pattern. The chord progression in C major is 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. So we've got a 4, 5, 6 in the chords, but it's 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, then 2. So you expect the 1, you get the 2 at the end. It gives you something different to land on and hold, and then repeat. So again, it's a pattern and a variation. 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 2. Looks like this. F major, and then 1, but it's not this 1. It's this one, which if you don't know what it is, I'm telling you now, it is a C major chord inverted. It's just C major. I tell my students all the time, whenever you're talking about inversions, think of a word as a chord. The chord is C-E-G, or keg, as we like to call it. When you spell keg, or you spell keg, or you spell keg, it really doesn't matter what letter goes in what direction. It could be C-E-G, E-G-C, G-C-E. Take the word, jumble the letters, it's still keg. Okay? If you take the word lake and you respell it as kale, they mean 2 different things. But in music, the word keg, C-E-G, jumble up the letters all you like, it's still C. So we have F, C, C-E-G. So there's a 4, 1, 5, 1, 6. That's A minor. So there's a lot of inversions going on here. Root inversion, first inversion, second inversion, first inversion, second inversion, first inversion, D minor. And played together, if I add the bass with my left hand, move this down a little bit, you get this kind of a deal. That starts to sound more like the song. Okay, you can hear the bass motion is very clear. 5, then 3, 5, 3, 6, 2. Now what's interesting there is that the bass is not doing the fundamental of the chords. Now I yell at my students, make the bass play the fundamental of the chord. Donner's rule of bass number 1. If the chord is C-E-G, play a C. If the chord is E-G-C, play a C. If the chord is G-C-E, yeah, play a C. Porter says, I'm not doing that. And the technique is called inverted bass. You've probably heard me talk about it before. It's not a no-no, but it's something you don't want to do unless you really have control over it. And I think he has control over it because the result is a very smooth bass line. Okay, so sticky melody, 6-5-1, 6-5-2, 6-5-1, 3-1-2, 3-1-2, 3-1-2, 3-1-2-1. Chords, 4, 1, 5, 1, 6, 2, or 2. Bass, 4 under the 4 chord, 3 under the 1 chord, also inverted, 5 under the 5 chord, 3 under the 1 chord again, 1 under the 6 chord, 2 under the 2 chord, F major, C major, G major, major, C major, A minor, D minor. That's the deal. Too simple. So we're going to layer them, and then we're going to rip them apart. When chords are too simple, 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 simple. They're triads, 3 notes. There's always a 1, 3, 5 in the note or in the chord. You got a 1, a 3, either major or minor, perfect fifth. Simple. Effective, but simple. When they're simple and they're too simple and you want to make them richer. Technique number 1, invert them. Well, he's already doing that. Technique number 2, extend them. Jazz guys will talk about chords like B flat, minor 7, sharp 9, flat 13, add 11. Like you're supposed to know what that means. You're supposed to know what that means. What it basically means is the scale, any scale can be a chord, and all of the notes of the scale can be in the chord. You've seen me talk about that. I think I mentioned that in the Chainsmokers video, where every note of the scale got represented somewhere. Well, jazz guys will do every note of the scale represented within a chord. And the technique is called extending a chord. So if we look at, say, F major, you just keep adding a note that's a third away that is still in the scale. So the scale is all the white keys. So all of these are available to you. So here we'll do F, A, C, Facebook, in case you need to remember it, Facebook. F, A, C, add a third, which is not this one, but this one. Now you have F major 7. Now you have F major 7, add 9. F major 7, add 9, add 11. And then if you really want to get nuts, add 13. That's a chord. It's also every single note of the scale. We're not going to use all of those. We're just going to go here to the major 7. So we have F major 7, C major 7, add 9, which looks a lot like E minor 7, E minor 7. It's also C major 7, add 9. But since there's no C in the bass, I'll let you call it whatever you want. You can call it E minor 7, you can call it C inverted, add 9 without the C, which is probably not a C because there's no C in the chord. But I digress. Point is, now, that's a bit much for some hands. It's a bit much for my hands, and I'm not in a perfect piano position, kind of playing like I have Tyrannosaurus arms. It's not so comfortable, so it's hard to pull off. So I want to extend the chord. I want to make it richer. I'm Porter Robinson. I'm pretending to be Porter Robinson right now. I want to make the chord richer. I want to extend it, so I'm going to add the sevenths, but it's hard for my hands to play. So why not play it in 2 passes with 2 different sounds? So I have this track stack called pads, and in pads I've got this serum patch, which for the record is a slightly modified pad called The Time, and here is retro synth with a slightly modified chill out pad. And I took those chords that I showed you before, which if I come back here were F major 7, and then you can see when I go, he actually does a C major, add 9. I've got all of the chords actually on this chill out pad. Take a look at this guy. It doesn't really sound right. It doesn't really sound rich because the other half of it is here. Between these notes, which are playing mostly fifths and then the occasional sixth, fifth, but mostly fifths, this gives you kind of the structurally strong fifth while the rest of the chord is being filled in with the rest of the parts. So that between the 2 of them, it sounds like this. And if I were to add the bass, which I believe is a Monarch, for those who are asking. Oh no, ESP, very simple bass. If you notice, the bass did something interesting. It started up in a higher octave, and then the second time through lowered itself down an octave. And it did that because halfway through, a whole bunch of these other parts turn on. And so it can move lower into the bass register, thicken up the song, warm it up, push the energy up, while all of the other parts are coming in the high end and the mid-range. Porter Robinson Shelter. If you like this and you want more, ask me. I'll do the rest of the song, because it does change. There's more to be had in this song. If you want it, let me know. Thank you for watching as always. See you out there in the next one. Send in the requests. We like to hear songs that you want to hear. How are they working? What's going on? What's interesting? What's the breakdown, Matt? Let me know. More importantly, many of you have been reaching out, sending me your songs. Thank you very much. I've been getting a little bit inundated with those. We'll get back to everybody. Please send them in. If you want just basic, hey, how am I doing with the song, and you email it to me, it might take a while for me to get back to you. I have to apologize. I'm just getting kind of blasted with tracks. If you really want to dig in and say, not just, hey, what do you think of my song, but what can I do today, right now, to make this better? Matt, you're pretty good with this chord and arrangement and production thing. Maybe you can help me. Yes, I can. Book some time. Go to pyramind.com/mentorship. Click the Learn Now or Learn More or Get Started, that little funny orange button. Click the funny orange button. You can look for sessions. We cover sound design, production, mixing, arrangement, theory, machine, softwares, Pro Tools, Logic, DAWs, tools, everything. We have mentors across the planet who are masters of their subjects. Rates are pretty cheap. They're hourly. You can open up your session on your end. We'll dig into it on my end, and we'll talk about what's going on in your song. Sessions have been really, really well received. It's a great way to learn. Videos are great. You can't ask video questions. But now, at Pyramind, through the Mentorship Network, you can ask questions and get answers. And find out what it is that's making your song not be awesome. Maybe it already is, and you just need somebody to tell you. Maybe it's got a long way to go. Maybe what you think you need is not what you need. Ask us. We're here to help. Pyramind.com/mentorship. I am happy to help. I've had a couple of students that have gone through already, made dramatic improvements in their tracks, and they now know enough to the point where they have a lot of this on their own. It's great. So you can save some money. I mean, our classes are amazing. It doesn't work for everybody. Some people just, I want to book time, want to get my questions answered, go away for a little while. No problem. We can help you online. We can help you with the mentorship. We can help you in person. For the really career, professionally driven person who knows they want to do this hardcore, you should come to Ground Campus. If you can't come to Ground Campus, do online classes. Can't handle the commitment, want to just get in, get out? Book us on the Mentorship Network. Ask us any questions. We're happy to help. My name's Matt. This is another Pyramind Breakdown. I'll see you out in the interwebs. Porter Robinson song, Shelter. Cue San Francisco Sirens. I'm sure if people hear this, like, oh my God, you're living like a dangerous neighborhood. Are you safe there, Matthew? Are you safe? I hear the sirens. Is it going to be okay? It's going to be okay. Yes, we're in a safe and ridiculously expensive part of town.